You seek advice from the cranky old gay guy. Do you need to know, is that guy into you? If you still question his motives and gestures, ask Joefer a question, that's what you do. Joefer will tell you the answer to questions. They may or may not be what you want to hear. You don't need to struggle and ponder decisions. Take his advice, there's no need to fear. Advice from the cranky old gay guy.
Hey y'all, it's Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. I want to let you know today's video is an advice video, but I do need to forewarn you. The lighting wasn't great, and I shot it on an old camcorder that I dug out of a drawer, and it shoots it in not an MP4 format, but an MOD format, so I had to use a converter to bring it over, which made the quality lower. So in the edit bay, I did turn up the brightness, I turned up the contrast, I turned up everything I could to make it the best as I could get it. It's still not crisp and clear, but you'll get the picture. And stay tuned for the credits because those were shot with my cell phone. All right, have a good day, and I hope you enjoy the advice video. Hey y'all, it's Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. Oh, and are you in for a treat today? Whew. This is an advice episode. And we're only going to do one letter today because I want to keep things short. I'm trying to make everything brief. Catch it? Brief. Today, we are going to be hearing from someone named Nate. I'm going to read you his email. Not going to give you any more information about him because who knows why. I'm just not. Okay. I went out on a date with a guy a couple weeks ago. He asked me, and I wasn't really attracted to him, but I agreed to go out. At the end of the night, I kissed him because I was a little tipsy and he was nice. I realize now that I shouldn't have done that. Now he calls me several times a day and texts me saying that he's thinking of me. I like him as a friend, but I don't want to go on another date. How should I tell him that while being nice? Well, Nate, let me tell you. In my years of experience, no one likes rejection. So regardless of how you tell him, he is going to act hurt or feel hurt or be hurt and just not show it. Probably, could be he doesn't want to be your friend. That's not what he's looking for. Maybe he wants you to be his bed partner. So, I don't know how old you are, but I would say if you're 30-ish, maybe you haven't had a lot of these dates where you didn't really want to go, but you went anyway. I think all of us have done that at some point. The best thing to do would be say, hey, I appreciate the interest. However, I'm not looking for that right now, but I would love to stay friends with you. That would be my ultimate advice. Now, depending on the person, they could be a psychotic stalker, and once you reject them, they're going to harass the hell out of you until they find someone else to harass. Now, I'm not saying that to be a dick or to make you feel bad. I'm saying that because I've seen it happen, not to me, but to people I know and I'm close with that have been stalked, have been followed to work, have had bouquets of flowers and packages sent to work with nasty notes, have notes been left on this person's supervisor's car saying what a bad person this person is that they're interested in, and it all stems from rejection. It could also be that maybe this person has had a broken relationship and they have trust issues. So rejecting them could be an issue again. Now, I am not going to condemn you for kissing someone. I do it all the time. Even now, I kiss people that I would have no interest in going home with. However, we're out dancing, we're having a good time. They look good, they feel good, they smell good, they show a lot of interest. I'm just in the mood. I'm going to go ahead and make out with them, and that's not going to be an issue for me. Sometimes they'll say, oh, can I get your number? And I'll say, well, I will go ahead and text you, and you can text me back. And a lot of times they never do. That way the ball's in their court, and I don't have to feel guilty about not responding. Also, I have made out with people who seemed interested, and then 5 minutes later they're making out with someone else. You know, I go to the bathroom and I come back and they're making out with someone else. So that tells me there was never any real connection. It was strictly a physical at the moment kind of thing. I don't blame alcohol for that all the time, but sometimes it's the case. I don't drink myself when I go out, so I'm not the one that's making that choice. I make the choice to make out with someone because I want to make out with them, or because, like I said, they smell good. They have nice lips. I want to know if they really know how to kiss, or you know, you want to feel like you're just going to grope a little bit, and they might have a nice physique that you want to grope. That doesn't mean that you're going to want to be with them if their personality if their personality isn't good, or if other things about them turn you off. Now, going out with them in the first place, I have done that, where I haven't been interested, but I've been badgered enough, this is when I was younger, that I would actually go, and then I've had some really miserable dates that way, where nothing is said between the two of us, or they're playing with their pager. Yes, back in the day, they had pagers, or some of the newest, when cell phones were brand new, they would have a cell phone and they would spend all their time on that while we're at dinner or whatever. And that's just bad etiquette. Or you would go out and they would be, oh, hi, how are you? Or how did you enjoy this? Did you like the movie? And that's the end of conversation. They have nothing to say. And it doesn't matter how much probing you do, probing with questions, not with your finger or your tongue, it's just not going to work out. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, would be to respond. If they're calling you, do it by phone. If they're texting you, just text them back and say, hey, I appreciate the attention and the interest. However, I'm not looking for anything more than a friend right now. Then it's up to them if they want to contact you again and say, yeah, we could be friends. But my guess is that if you say that, you might get a response, or you might not, and you'll just be ghosted, and then you're off the hook and you don't have to worry about it. Hopefully this isn't someone that you see every day at work or play or whatever. But yeah, I mean, these things happen. That's what life's about. Again, I don't know how old you are. If you're 60 years old and this is happening to you, I would think that you probably know how to handle this. And if not, just say, hey, you're not my type. It's cold, it's callous, it's rude, but if someone is continually harassing you and doesn't take no for an answer, be blunt with them. Don't tell them why they're not your type. However, there are some people out there who are insecure, very insecure, and they will say, well, what is your type? You can go by personality. I wouldn't go with body size or body shape, because if they don't fit that shape, they're going to be really pissed that you're judging them on their physical appearance. And I see where they're coming from, but you know, if you're not attracted to someone physically, then you're not attracted to them physically. They'll also want to know, well, what is it about me? I've had women ask me this question. What is it about me that men find so unattractive? Well, again, you can talk about personality traits, but don't talk about anything in appearance. The women that I know do not want to hear that. And even if they're asking you for the truth, you don't want to give them the truth, because then you're the problem and you're the one that's going to be attacked. So I think there are a lot of guys that are going to behave the same way, that if you say, well, what is it about me that you don't like? Well, I really don't like the fact that you have moobs. Or I don't like the fact that you're a 38-inch waist and I'm a 27-inch waist. I just don't see us fitting together. They're going to get really upset with you. So instead, stick to the plain and simple and just say, hey, I'm not looking for anything more than a friend right now. Period. And if they later see you hooking up with somebody or making out in a bar and going home with someone, they're going to get angry. Let them get angry because things change. Maybe if they ask you and confront you after you hook up with someone else, you can say, well, I wasn't looking, but this person presented themselves and we got to talking and things just happened. You know, just like that kiss happened between you and this person that you're not interested in, things happen and things change. And what you're not looking for today, you might find tomorrow and decide, hey, I wasn't looking, but now that it's here, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I mean, that's what dating's about. So, I hope I've answered your question, and I don't know what more I can say on the subject. Yeah, this is really quick. So in that case, I'm going to answer one more advice question. Nate, I hope that helped you out. And to show your appreciation for answering this question, I know you're dying to do this anyway. Go ahead and send me a photo of yourself so I know who I'm advising. It's not required to anyone, but Nate, if you want to do that, I'd appreciate to know and knowing who I just gave that advice to. Because if you're like 80 years old, then I'm really going to be kind of concerned that you were asking that question. Okay, let me just unlock this. Go back to this. I will find it. I wasn't prepared for this because I didn't know I was going to read another one. Let's see. Okay, that's just someone who just wants to look at my package. Who is this person? Just a moment. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm not going to give their name. I've received a few emails from them. Let me go to this next one. Advice. Okay, this one is from someone named Jay. Thank you for your prostate video because I too am having trouble with my prostate. I think it's swollen. What should I do? Well, this one's really easy, Jay. How swollen is it? I'm not going to advise you to stick something up your back area to feel your prostate and see if it's extra large because you might not know how large it's supposed to be anyway. If you're having trouble urinating, that means your prostate's probably swollen and pinching your urethra. So that's something you need to see a doctor about. If it hurts when you're urinating, I don't know how long it's been happening, but again, you should see a doctor. When I was passing kidney stones in the past, it hurt for 2 or 3 days. Occasionally, it was just a burning sensation, and I would get a check for an STI. It wasn't an STI. And then I passed a stone, and it was like, oh, that's what it was. Or the urine was changing color, and it went from normal to almost a burgundy before I passed this huge stone, which, yeah, it was very painful. And that was in the past. And other times, I've had problems with the pain, and it was because the kidney stone was to the side. It was stuck in the kidney. It was large, and I had to have it surgically removed. But that's not a prostate issue. The prostate issue, if you're getting up a lot at night to go to the bathroom, how old are you? Are you over 30, over 35? That could potentially be a prostate issue. Or it could be that you're drinking a lot before you go to bed. You know, if I drink anything after 6 o'clock, I'm going to get up at least twice. Now in the past, before I had a prostate procedure, I was getting up 10, 15, 16 times a night and wasn't getting any sleep. So again, if this is something that's been ongoing and it's not just started today, go see your doctor and they will diagnose you and send you to a specialist to see what the problem really is. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the prostate video because I didn't get around to interviewing someone who's had prostate cancer, which I was going to do, but I didn't get around to it. I ran out of time and I didn't want to spring it on them at the last minute requesting this because they're a busy person. Yeah. So that's it for that. I hope that that answers your question. And I'm just speaking from experience when it comes to that. I would ignore all of the prostate remedies that you're seeing on Facebook because I get tons of them in my feed. All of them but one contain saw palmetto, which when I first started having problems, I was taking that on my own for a good year and it did absolutely nothing. I know people will say, well, you have to do it with slippery elm bark and all this. I read up on all that stuff and I took those supplements and they didn't do anything for me. Doesn't mean they won't work for you, but at $49 to $89 a month for some generic supplements that aren't sold in stores, because people keep trying to shut us down because the pharmacy corporations are after us because we've solved this issue. Don't buy it. Don't believe it. If you are really concerned and you're interested in those kind of supplements, go see a naturopath and see what they have to offer. That's probably a safer choice because not only do they have training, but they also have a reputation to uphold. These online companies do not. They might be out of business in a month or two, or they'll disappear and then they come back with a new name and a new brand selling the same thing over and over again. And they do this consecutively. If anyone files a claim against them or they get in trouble by some government agency, they declare bankruptcy, they go out of business, and then they come back under a new name. So don't get fooled by that. If you're having problems, go see an actual doctor. And I think that's what I'm going to end with, is that I hope that was informative and answered all your questions. And until next time, this is Joefer, the Cranky Old Gay Guy, bringing you advice from my underwear. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Do you seek advice from the cranky old gay guy? Do you need to know, is that guy into you? If you still question his motive,